keep yourselves on mute unless you are speaking. And just a reminder of time. So this session is going to go on till about 10 past 12. Then we've got a brief comfort break before you'll go into your next workshop, which will start at 20 past 12. Please do make use of the chat function or raise your hands if you want to ask any questions, or if you've got any comments at all. Yes, but that's everything from me. I'm going to hand over to our fantastic speakers. So we've got Huma and Suchi, and let me just check, has Sham joined?
Not yet.
Okay, no problem at all. Sham should be joining us hopefully quite soon, but I'm going to hand it over to Suchi and Huma to introduce themselves and their presentation. So take it away.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to this workshop. I'm Suchi. I am the Policy and Research Officer at ESDEG. Huma, who's the SEND Support Officer, she's also going to be presenting today. Unfortunately, our colleague Nasteha, who's the SEND Advocacy Officer, she couldn't join because of a family health emergency. In her place, we are expecting Dr. Shamkwam, who's the chair of our board of trustees, to join us anytime soon. So before we get started, can we do a quick round of introductions? If we get an idea about the work you do, that would be great. You could just type in the chat box or let us know. The reason we are asking is we just want to know about your background in the SEND system and what sort of clients you work with. That would help us, with this workshop. We'll give it a couple of minutes and then we'll move on. Oh, great. Thanks everyone for all the introductions. It would be great to, get in touch with all of you. So Thea, could we go to slide 3, please? Rather 4. So before starting the workshop, I'd like to quickly introduce ESDEG. We are the Education and Skills Development Group. We are a grassroots charity working in West London, primarily in Ealing, but also in Brent and Hounslow. With our main focus in working with our beneficiaries is through training, skills development, social integration, and of course education. If we could go to slide 4, Thea. So our focus is global majority migrants and other deprived communities from low-income households. In particular, we work with the Somalis, the Pakistani, Afghan, Indian, and the Black Caribbean heritage communities. Can we go to slide 5, please? 6, yes. So we started the SEND support services in 2022. It's just 2 years old. And this was started because we saw that there was a lot of demand from our service users. People were really struggling, and hence this project was launched. We have adopted a family-centric approach. We support children with special needs with supplementary schooling, sports and leisure activities, mental health counseling, mentoring, including school mentoring, holiday activities like summer camps, fun days, cinema and bowling experiences, and then visits to the zoo, theme park. Our summers are pretty busy. And for the parents, we have coffee mornings, and we also do one-to-one advice and guidance on diagnosis, EHCP applications, school placements, mediation and liaison among the parents in schools, send tribunal appeals, housing applications, DLA, blue badge application, mental health and well-being. We try and cover every problem that parents come to us with. We may not necessarily be experts, but we try and figure out what the problem is and how best we can help them. We also do grassroots research on SEND needs and gaps in the system. Currently, there are two reports on our website. One is on school exclusion, and the other one is find the difficulty in finding school places for children with special needs in Ealing. We also run a Send Club. This term, we are doing it on Saturdays from 10 to 2 in the afternoon, morning to afternoon. And this is at the Viking Community Center in Northolt, which is in Ealing. Thea, can we go to the next slide, please? So before we get started with the workshop, I just wanted to go through the challenges that parents face while navigating the SEND system. It's not a picnic for families, whether they are from the mainstream or from the migrant communities. But for the migrant community families, there are these extra layers of challenges. And the top one that we keep seeing is that parents are completely clueless about how to go through the system. Then there are these misconceptions that parents have, like EHCP can only be requested by the schools and not by the parents. That needs assessment is very complicated, expensive, very documentation heavy. That in case the LA rejects an EHCP application, they have no further recourse. So we try and break those. Then there's lack of early intervention and even sometimes awareness on part of the parents, long waiting periods for assessment, delay in getting the services, language barriers. About 95% of our service users do not speak English or are not very comfortable speaking English. Cultural differences, especially with regards to, expectations and communications. Then lack of confidence in dealing with officials, lack of resource and time. Most of our parents work double shifts, so it becomes very difficult for them to take time off work. Then lack of support system and social network. Most of our parents have been in the country for less than a decade, so they do not have a family structure or friend structure here in the UK. Can we go to the next slide here? So let's get started now. So how do you think that a family which faces the kind of challenges that they face, how do you think that we can reach out to such families and help them with their children who have special needs? If you could just type in the chat box your reactions, that would be good. We'll give it a couple of minutes, Thea, or maybe three minutes, and see um, the responses. Thank you so much for all the responses. They are fantastic, and I agree with a lot of them. I will now tell you how we at ESDEG, how we reach out to these communities. Thea, if you could go to the next slide, please. So, what we have done at ESDEG. So ESDEG was started in 2005, and they were started by members of the Somali community, the refugee community. So, and about 90% of our staff are from the migrant communities in West London. Um, these are the few things that we have done over the years to build up a relationship and a goodwill in the community. Our advocacy and outreach staff are, you know, from the same cultural background, and amongst all of us we speak about 7 to 8 different languages, which helps. Then building a relationship with the families, and this hasn't happened overnight. We have invested a lot of time over the years building up a relationship with the families. Then providing a safe space. So we operate out of Viking Community Center, and the parents know that there are these coffee mornings every week, and then drop-in sessions, one-to-one appointments which can be booked. So there is a safe space where the families can drop in, and you know, sometimes we just get mothers, even when it's not a coffee morning, just to de-stress and just to spend some time with someone else being in the room, like just to, you know, let their steam off. Then gain the trust of parents, so establishing channels of communication. The sense system often is very challenging and emotionally draining, so there are tough times as well. Just being with the parent, there are times when they'll call us and they don't even speak, so just, you know, being there, that's all we can do. Then prioritize and accommodate the needs of the children. So there are often times when parents can't come in for an appointment because they have nowhere to leave the children, or they don't have a child minder. So what we do is, at our center there's always someone who can look after the child while the parent is speaking to one of our advisors. um, there are times when we will, especially during the term breaks and during summer, we organize, like I'd mentioned, a lot of activities for these children, because these children are not really welcome at a lot of places. So we try and build up these safe spaces where they can come in and, you know, do something creative or just run around and blow off steam. Then we have this holistic approach, in the sense that we believe that the parents also need to be taken care of when they are going through this journey. So coffee mornings, social meets, networking with other parents who are going through a similar journey, which really helps. Then celebrating the big and the small wins, and you know, providing support through disappointments and tough times, which are many in the journey, as you all know. And then encouraging parents, especially the mothers, to build up their own social networks. And we have seen the benefits of this. You'll get to hear Huma's story a little later. She'll tell you how she got to know about the special school from one of the other mothers in the network. So we really encourage and stress on this, that build up your own social network, build up your own friends. Thea, could we go to the next slide, please? Okay, so this is where I invite Huma to talk about her journey, her and her son's journey. Huma, could you please take over?
Thanks, Suchi. Hi, my name's Huma. I'm a family support worker, SEND worker, advocacy as well. I help with at the centre. I started as a volunteer. I came to ESDEG as a parent needing support. Then became a volunteer, and now I work there part time with training. So the story started with my son, who he's my third child. He was diagnosed with autism very early. This was around maybe 2 years old, children's health check. He was placed in a reception, like a special ARP. He was given transport at the age of 3. Everything was done pretty quickly. He's 13 now, so you can imagine it was probably a lower waiting time at that time. So he was diagnosed pretty quickly. Going forward, he went to a mainstream school, but he had support there. He had education healthcare plan in place throughout the years, reception, year 1, year 2, everything was on point. He was always given the best support and all the facilities that he needed. Even though it was a mainstream, they tried to accommodate his needs. And I feel that that's because he came in with an education healthcare plan and an early diagnosis, so they didn't have to do much. They just worked around the OT plan and the speech and language plan. The problem only started is when, as we were approaching year 6, and we start to see that he may not be able to go into a mainstream high school. I then found out that the school that's most local to me, which my 14-year-old goes to, they have an ARP, but the child can only approach that ARP once a week. So it was very sort of useless in a way. It wasn't going to accommodate him with his needs, and obviously as he grows, there was going to be more challenges with him developing and growing into a teenager. So I rejected that offer and I requested for a special school for my son. Went through the whole process. They said no, he doesn't meet the criteria. So once we had our regular coffee mornings, there was a parent I met who I was helping, but she told me that her son has been placed at an independent special school, which I wasn't aware about. And so I went to visit that school and I went through the whole application and I found that that place would be better suited for my son. Then Ealing Council refused to, because it was an independent school. Ealing Council weren't happy to pay more for an out of borough school. So I took them to court because I visited maybe 7 schools in the meantime to see what place is best suited for him. None of them, either they didn't have spaces or they couldn't take him on because his needs were slightly different, or again the problem with the ARP in a mainstream school, ARP can only accommodate them for like maybe 4 hours a week or something like that, which is not going to help children with needs. So again, we took them to court. We won the appeal, and now he's in the independent school. He's been there. This is his 3rd year now, and he's still going strong. He's meeting his targets, and he's getting all the support he needs. And I'm very happy with the outcome. But it was a big struggle to get him there, and I was quite adamant to get him the next phase of education in the correct environment that he needed, because his primary school was just in a mainstream where he was being supported but not to the best that he required. And so we won the case, and he's in the mainstream. He's in the independent school now with all the support he needs, and he's doing really well and he's happy, and that's the main priority for me.
Thanks, Roma. Could you, Thea, could you go to the next slide, please? So could you identify what advantages Huma had while she navigated the SEND system? If you could just let us know in the chat box. Thanks for your responses. Thea, if we could go to the next slide, and Huma, if you could just talk about the advantages you feel you had while going
Yeah,
through.
okay. Yeah, no problem. Again, it's something that I speak about in most of our coffee mornings as well. I was lucky enough for a healthcare assessment when my son went in for just like a normal weigh-in, where his needs were picked up. The health worker was able to like she was able to pick up signs that there was something off, and so he was referred to the child development team, and from there, that's when his journey started. It was quite young, 2.5, 2.5 years old, or almost 3 is when he was placed in the ARP. Yeah, I'm born here. My parents are from Pakistan, so I think I had that. I didn't have a language issue. I knew like how to fill in forms and all of this, and if I couldn't fill in forms, I'd know where to go for support. And that could be the nursery, which was really good because again they had an ARP, or it could be just the health advisors who initially referred him for a diagnosis. He was diagnosed just before 4 years old, so I feel that having an early diagnosis and these signs being picked up so soon, he's been given the best support he can be given, and he has been working through targets throughout every year. And yeah, I've as I approached ESDEG, I went in there like I said as just a parent needing advice, looking for support as to like for high school, for primary school, or anything, even just to fill in DLA forms. So I went there and became friends with a lot of the parents there. With the once my forms were being accepted and my DLA went through for my son and all of this, I started to gain more confidence and I started to help other families in similar situations and sort of advise them. These are the things I went through, and this is how you should go ahead. And then from there, I became a part-time SEND worker. So I'm now trained level 2 SEND and working more online and face-to-face workshops, trainings, anything that I can gain.
Huma, sorry to interrupt, there's a question for you.
Yeah,
Uh, the question is, was the health worker a health visitor?
not health visitor. It was like, you know, those clinics that they run once a week where everyone brings in their babies and they get a weigh in and they find out how they're brushing their teeth and all of this. So it's like a child development, um, every 6 months or so sort of check that they call you in for in the local children's centre. So
Thank
I'd say it was a mixture of team members. So there may be like a nurse there who would ask about the injections, and then there may be the health visitors around as well. So it was a team of people.
Annie, I hope you've got your answer. Huma, there's another question from Swati.
Mm-hmm.
She's asking, do you have any views on whether the LA could have done anything differently, even with the same outcome?
No, I feel it was all done around the same time. And like I said, I can see the difference in my child from the time he had an early diagnosis. And now I see children who are similar age to my son, but they are only starting to be diagnosed now, age 12, age 13. So they've missed out 6 years of support at the primary school. So I feel I was like lucky to have all of that support and to help him become the confident young man that he's become now. If you were to even look at him, you would not even find an inkling to think he has autism. Like he's very confident. He'll talk to you. He'll have a conversation. He's a school counselor in his school right now. So I feel like all of that input from very early on was amazing, and I feel that's how he is where he is today.
Thank you, Huma. It's always great to hear your story.
Thank you.
Yeah, can we go to the next slide, please? Okay, so this is a case study that we prepared on the basis of the different cases that we get. And this is where my colleague Nas was supposed to come in because she's the subject matter expert, but then I'll just pitch in and I'll share this case study with you. So Farah is a single mother of 3 children between 8 and 16 years of age. Her youngest son, Ali, is 8 years old and is autistic. She's on universal credit and also receives the disability living allowance for Ali. Farah has complained about the unhealthy living condition in her council flat. So she was shifted to a hostel. She is paying monthly internet bill under a fixed term contract at the permanent address, while Ali does not have access to internet at the hostel. Ali's school is 1.5 hours away, and Farah and Ali have to change 3 buses to get there. The school is not providing additional support to Ali, also has restricted school time of 2 hours, so Farah has to wait outside the school. Ali is resisting going to school and has meltdowns every morning. Ali's EHCP is pending, and Farah has no clue how much longer it will take. Also, Farah is not fluent in English and is dependent on her oldest son, 16-year-old Murad, for tech support. So this is Farah. This is her story. Now, could you let us know on the chat box, how do you think we can help Farah best with, I think here, if we stay in the previous slide, because her Farah's case study is pretty complicated. A lot is going on in her life. Um, how do you think we can best help Farah, you know, navigate through her problems and provide the help that Ali deserves? And though I'd like to add that though Farah is fictitious, um, these kind of cases are not. We do get a lot of cases where there are, multiple layers of um, layers happening like layers of problems are happening. Joanna has mentioned that restricted school time of 2 hours is illegal. Joanna, unfortunately, I'm right now, doing a small piece of research on autistic children and their school attendance. And unfortunately, I have spoken to 8 mothers whose sons go to school for 2 hours or 2.5 hours, because the schools does not have funding to allocate a TA to the children. So what they are doing is they are breaking up the TA's hours, and they are putting like there's one-to-one support for the child, but it is only available for 2 hours. So the child is in school for 2 hours. This is pretty common in Ealing, in the inner London borough where we work.
I was going to say it does happen up north in Bradford as well. However, it is illegal, and I could add loads to this. I'd love it. Would you be able to pop your email in? Because I also am doing a dissertation on school attendance with health needs. So it'd be quite interesting to compare Ealing with Bradford, if that would be okay.
Yeah, that would be great. Our emails are actually at the end of the presentation slide.
Oh,
and we are going
I
to
might
share.
get in touch with you. Yeah.
Yes, definitely. Okay, we have quite a few comments, and Thea, if you could just go to the slide after this, this is how at ESDEG we have helped cases like Faraz. Huma, if you could pitch in with this. What I'll do is I'll just, go through the things that we have done in similar situations, in similar cases. So Ali's needs to be accepted and acknowledged without delay. Since Ali does not have an early intervention, his needs were not picked up by the health department team. So even at the age of 8, he's not had any kind of support. This becomes a priority for us. Sometimes what happens is parents are hesitant in accepting that the child has extra needs and they need that support. So helping Farah understand what the needs are and how Ali could do much better with additional support. This is where someone like Huma comes in, because Huma has lived experience of her son who's autistic. So when Huma has a chat with someone like Farah, it makes it much more easier for Farah to understand and accept the additional needs that her child has. Then the language barrier, of course. So there have been cases where Huma has been on phone with the customer care service for internet companies or bailiffs, housing services, trying to, find solutions, because it's just not possible for parents who have a language problem to be on the phone speaking to someone in English, trying to go through these tricky things and trying to work through them. Huma, would you like to add anything over here?
Yeah, it's like I say every time we come up with these presentations or questions around the SEND support that we offer, I do normally say it's not as easy as just filling in the DLA form and the person's not going to come to you again for 3 years. There's so many other issues that are off that branch out that they do need support with. And again, it's to help the family who have a child with additional needs. Sometimes the parents are not willing to accept it. We know families where the mom has accepted but the dad does not accept, and they refuse to get the right support for the son, so for the child. So we have families who are pending assessments because the family cannot come to an agreement and agree that the child does have a need and we need to get him support. Again, internet access could be to do with a lot of things, online, how to just even make a gas payment every week, top up your gas card for £10 a week. Some people find that very hard to do. So then they come in, we support them, we set it up for them, or we will show them how they can just walk into a shop and just pay it via the payment card rather than going online if that's what they struggle with. Yeah, Suchi, do you want to go on?
Yeah, so basically, like Huma said, that it's a holistic support. Just giving them advice or just helping them fill up one form does not work for a mother. A case like Farah, they need a lot more support, which goes on in the background. And we have listed some of the ways that we support them. But I think the most important thing that happens when a parent comes in is the confidence that they feel when they speak to our advisor, or the support when they call us with something, or when they call us with a piece of good news or with a piece of frustrating news. The confidence that they feel that they can approach us and not be intimidated, or they do not have to go through a long waiting list. I think that's what adds to it, and that's what makes mothers come to us.
Yeah.
Do you agree to that, Huma?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I feel like we need to have that trust in that relationship for them to come and share these very intimate details with us. Like, my husband's not willing to accept, and it sort of puts us in a position as to how much further can we help. Then sometimes we invite the father in as well. We would do like the summer activities where families will come with us on the trips. We just recently in the summer holidays we did a Legoland trip. We took 100 people. And so we're taking families out of the day-to-day hustle bustle that's around supporting children with SEND, where we can show them that these are the other sides of activities that you can do with families, and you can enjoy yourself as a family rather than keeping the child at home and stressing between mother and father of how they can best support. So again, it's just building that relationship. It's not just 1 or 2 sessions. They have to come, they have to understand, they see that we are working hard with them to help them get a decision or get the next best stage for their child in their high school or primary school, wherever they may be going. Yeah, I think that's very important.
Thank you, Huma. I'm aware of the time, and I see that we've gone past the 40 minutes. So shall we wrap up? If you have any further questions, these are our emails. If you could drop me an email, I can respond back to you. Same with Huma. If you have any further questions, or if you want to know anything more in detail, please get in touch with us. And that's it pretty much. I hope it was a good session and you enjoyed it. Well, not enjoyed it, at least it was a good discussion. And please let us know your feedback. Thank you, Jacqueline.
Thank you so much for that fantastic presentation. I thought that was fascinating. We do have maybe 1 minute if anyone's got any quick questions they wanted to ask, or you can pop it in the chat. And I know you've said that you're happy to take questions after. I can see lots of praise in the chat.
I can't seem to use the chat again. It seems to have cut me off, but I just want to say thank you, and I'll email you. It was a really interesting talk. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, everyone. If you could leave this meeting and then we've got a break for about 10 minutes. The next workshop starts at 20 past. You should have the links already. If you don't, please email rise@ncb.org.uk and one of our colleagues will be able to direct you to the right link. But otherwise, we will see you soon. Just to say that at the end of the second workshop, you don't need to go back into the main meeting. The workshop will end after the second workshop.
Thank you so much, everyone. And thanks, Thea, for all your support. It was lovely meeting all of you. And if you have any questions, please drop us an email. Thank you. Bye-bye.
This is great. Thanks.